Thank you, Carol, for this important question. From my perspective, the Syrian government is the sovereign authority generally responsible for protecting the citizens in Syria, on Syrian territory. That includes the Druze. But in Sweden, the question is no longer only whether the government failed to protect the Druze citizens. The much more alarming issue is that the UN Syrian Commission report that came out roughly, I think, 6-7 months ago, stated that in the first wave of violence, the government forces, accompanied by tribal fighters, committed widespread violations. They called it violations, but we call it atrocities and war crimes against the Druze civilians. That includes murder, torture, rape, vandalism, and stealing content of houses, and that the attacks documented may amount to war crimes with further concerns requiring investigations. That's what they wrote. So this is the central point. The authority that was supposed to protect the civilians is accused of being involved in atrocities against them. This is not merely a story of instability or weak governance. It is a story of minority community facing mass violence, while the state's role itself is under a grave question. Now, the same report also reported that more than 1,700 people were killed and 200,000 displaced people in Sweden violence, with the Druze community suffering the overwhelming majority of the deaths. These numbers, of course, are much higher because we moved further in time. The numbers that we have are much higher. I want to be very clear on about the role of the Druze in Israel. We are Israelis. We, the Druze in Israel, are Israelis, Israeli citizens. Israel is a sovereign state, and Syria is supposed to be a sovereign state. The Druze in Syria are supposed to be protected by the Syrian government, not by Israel. That is the legal and the moral position. But the reality is that if Israel had not intervened, and if the Israeli Druze had not put enormous pressure on the state of Israel to act, these catastrophic acts would have been far worse. In my view, the Druze community in Sweden would have faced an even more devastating outcome, with the tolls of the deaths reaching maybe tens of thousands. Now, the Israeli Druze, as you all know, did not stand aside. Sheikh Muwaffaq Tarif established a situation room, which is still up and running, with organized sections following the developments closely and coordinating assistance. We are helping with what we can, including efforts relating to accommodation for the families of these 36 or 38 evacuated villages that remain displaced almost a year after the crisis. Entire communities are still not back in their homes. That alone shows the depth of the disaster. And to understand the scale of the emergency, just look at the needs of Sweden itself. Look at the numbers for 1 week. We're talking about the population of roughly 600,000. The weekly humanitarian needs are immense, around 1,470 tons of flour and bread, around 840 tons of vegetables, 420 tons of fruits, 2 million eggs, 210,000 cubic meters of waters, and the list goes on and on. So when we speak about the Sweden, we should not reduce it mainly to a political debate. This is also a survival issue. It is about homes destroyed, villages emptied, families being displaced, schools not running, and the crisis is still continuing.
Thank you very much, Anan. I can say that from being very close to the community in Israel, I was very impressed by the mobilization of the community to help the community in Syria. Whether it's their responsibility or not, that doesn't matter at this point. It's just like an amazing